Welcome back to Oak Bridge Farm, episode 10. I am just down here at our production, grabbing the skid steer. We need to get the pigs topped up. They're kind of running out of food. This will actually finish them out. We could probably move those, that bag of seeds, put that somewhere else, because we do want to get a manure heap put in. We don't really need it right away, but we're going to be done with the shed anyway, so we could probably just go ahead and delete it. On today's episode, we're going to get the other field planted. We're going to do peas, of course, because there's a little bit more extra money for that. And hopefully we can start getting this loan paid back. We are going to keep an eye on the sales, and hopefully we can get a mulcher. We could maybe do some rolling. But I actually looked at the yield bonus. We're actually, it says 100% yield bonus on our spinach that we just planted last month. That's quite interesting. Maybe we don't even have to go into the mulching and rolling. Kind of weird how it did that. We will find out for sure, though. I believe last year when we did it, we didn't get the 100%. I'm just mistaken. We did buy that slurry configuration. We went through most of it. There is a little bit that we could put down on the peas, and then we'll probably use the spreader on the rest of it. I want to, like I said, get a manure heap, play around with that a little bit, and see if we will get maybe more manure, and we could spread that out. It would only make sense if that's the way it worked, because you have the you're putting straw down. We have to buy straw too, so it's a little bit to get involved with. I think it's a good episode to do that. The pigs are going through, like I said, food a lot quicker. We're gonna sell them at 24 months. They're at 21 right now. 24 is supposed to be the top, but I think I might just go 1 month over just to confirm that they'll start decreasing in price. We shouldn't lose too much, but we'll load them up on the trailer, and then we'll make some money doing that, and like just kind of keep that cycle going, and then they reproduce, and then we just sell them. Hopefully we get a decent amount for them, because buying the food ain't cheap either. We could always, like, well, the chickens are costing us money too as well, quite a bit, so we might want to start like getting some barley or wheat or something, but we're gonna need another harvester for that unless we sell one of our current harvesters. But I definitely want to wait and see how we can come out here once we get ahead. Here we go, last pallet. We will be doing the bags. We're gonna store them, actually it's gonna be that first bay there where the tractor is. We're gonna put a bunch of bags over there when we buy more. Alright, how far did they get on that? Not very far. We can get it through a few more months. It might actually get us up to the sale day. That would be alright. Let's go ahead and move that pallet of seeds, and then we can sell this shack. It was a cool little shed, but just not fitting our workflow, so we gotta get rid of it and move on with something else. Let's see here, the seeds. Can you go in this shed or the other one? I think we'll save the other one for the chicken feed. We'll put the seeds over here as well as the... No, actually the pig feed's gonna go in the other shed. Might be able to put some lime in here maybe or something. I'll set them right by these other bags to make it look... Got the decoration in here anyway. It'll make it easy to fill up. We won't have to bring the pallet out. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete the shed. $536 we'll get for it. I believe the manure heap wasn't cheap. Take a look at that real quick. 10,000, 12, and there's a 15. Probably want like the smallest one. We could just put it in at an angle. You know, even if we put it in the corner right here, so we could put some, you know, like a gas barrel or something over here. We were kind of still deciding on lime. I might just buy that at the store and bring it down, so that we could get the extension for that spreader and all that. It's one less thing we have to have on the farm. Yeah, I think like right in here would be cool. But there's no sense in putting this up yet until we have enough money to buy straw bales, which we probably might want to get going on soon, because so it has time to build up. We'll think about it. We'll sleep on it. We're probably going to be in debt for a little while. We got our seeder here. It's all ready to go. We'll park this probably in the other shed when we get done. We can put the pig feed in there. And like I said, we'll do these. Just made so much money on that. We'll be getting 2 harvests out of our spinach. And then we haven't actually ran them in our production yet, so it'll be interesting to see how good that works out. Let's see, when we set up our lines, I want to make sure we can do this the best way possible. Yeah, I'm thinking like that might actually work pretty good. We could obviously do another headland too, but it's not going to let us. Yeah, let's try that if it works. Sometimes changing that stuff does not work so well. Okay, we got enough fertilizer. Go. How does that look? Yeah, 50% fertilized, 77 yield bonus. Yeah, like I said over here, look at this. 97, 100, 97, 100 on yield bonus. Like, it's almost like we don't even have to do mulching. We'll see how the peas come out when we do it. Maybe like I said, I do want to do a mulcher stage, but I guess if we're getting the bonus, there's really no point in doing that. Okay, let's tackle this seeding, and we'll see you after the job is done. Let's check up on our field here. Yeah, we'll do another fertilization. We'll see. I gotta check on our wagon and see how much slurry we have. We do have to advance 1 month before that. Let's see. We'll chance to go down the steep hill here in first person. Looks like our trees are in bloom for spring. They look pretty nice. Yeah, we'll park this into the bigger shed here. Got all kinds of room in there. A good spot for it, I think. All kinds of room. Park it next to the spreader here and the water cooler. Make sure we leave enough room so we get to our water cooler. Perfect. Okay, let's see how much slurry we have in our trailer. Our organic fertilizer, if you will. Oh yeah, we never refilled it. I think... yeah, there's not a whole lot here, so we'll wait. We'll go ahead 1 more month. And then we'll see how much we get. We're at 65. And we'll see how much more it produces in 1 day. And it is raining in May. It produced almost 2,000, give or take. 22. Like I said, 24. We'll probably actually get these sold in this episode, make a little cash doing that. I suppose it doesn't really matter if it's raining or not when we do our fertilizer. Might make it more interesting. Let's go ahead and fill it up. Like I said, we won't get too far. We'll do what we can. And then we'll grab the solid fertilizer. Yeah, like how low that is on the gauge there. Not quite half. But we'll use it up. Might make this spreader get a little dirtier quicker, which is alright. Perfect. Okay, fire it up. It's gonna, yeah, it's gonna go through it really quick. But look at how that, you can see it's got like a nice shiny coat to it. It was like that on 22 too. It definitely looks like we're putting some slurry down. Yeah, we're not going to get too far at all. It was nice to be able to use that though. Had we had precision farming, it probably would have... Well, we probably would have got a lot... Well, obviously, farther. Probably would have finished both fields too. This is hardly worth turning around and hitting, but give it a go if we can get out of the woods. A little too far there. Yeah, this will hardly be worth it. We'll get it down and it'll be done. Ah, that's it. Okay. Otherwise, was there a slurry purchase point? Let me look once on the map. I thought there was one around here. I don't see any purchase points on the map. If I do recall, there was one over here though. Like a bin, not actually able to purchase. Oh, as manure actually. But yeah, I don't think this is just decoration. You can't even use this. Which is kind of unfortunate that they didn't put some of them in this map, but yeah, we got to keep an eye on our chickens too. I think they're not dumping. It doesn't look like. Yeah, the food is going down. Let's dump a little bit here. Supposed to do it automatically. Maybe when we unhooked it, it had issues. There we go. Got to keep up on them. Alright, let's take this back to the shop, and then we'll get the actual solid. Look at that. I gotta look at the slurry close up yet before we walk off the field. It just looks really good. You know, with this farm sim looking this good, imagine what the future's gonna bring. Let's go get the solid fertilizer thrower. Yeah, check this out. You can actually see difference between the actual slurry and then the fertilizer. Definitely a difference when you look at it. But I believe with the stock game, there's not a difference in yield bonus. 100 there. Yeah, or if we used precision farming, we wouldn't get the full percentage, but one advantage to not using it, I guess. But obviously you would use less, so because the nitrogen is not consistent in the organic fertilizer. We'll go ahead another month. Actually, we should check our spinach real quick. And we'll see if that yield bonus is changing at all. I don't think there was any weeds growing on that other field either. So I think we're in like good shape. Quite bumpy getting in here though. There we go. Let's leave it there. Yeah, let's go check these fields real quick again. In well, I should say the spinach. See where we're at. Yeah, so we got 100. So I don't, as much as it would be fun to mulch, I guess there's some spots that are 97. Let's see it. Check the map once. Yeah, actually the rolling's not even. Oh, it's considered mulched when you do that. Interesting. So we don't need to worry about mulching because when we pick those crops, it is considered mulched. Okay, well, I guess we don't have to worry about buying a mulcher then, as long as we stick with these crops. Interesting note. And then we don't really got to worry about seems like weeds are not coming up either. Very interesting. Okay, well, I guess we can't argue about that. Things are looking our way then. We'll just start focusing towards the manure heap. We'll have to get probably some more pig food bought here too. But I think what we'll do is we'll advance and we'll see if our... Check out the mud again. We'll advance it. We'll see what gets done first. The pigs. I do want to go like a month over just to watch it, see if it starts decreasing. They're only 2 months away. We may need to get some food before then though. Or we'll get to the spinach harvest, which actually it says one in June. We'll see if it lets us do it in June or we got to go to the next month. Looks like the dump is working for the chickens, which is awesome. That might be the way to go, is just top this up and just leave it here. Since the trough is not that big, our egg production is picking up, which is lovely to see. Get a lot more money for them. Yeah, the pig food is not going to make it, unfortunately. We're at 23 months at 2,400. We'll go grab some more food down at the sale point. How is our harvest coming along? It is ready to pick our spinach. Well, yes, indeedy, we can get, like I said, 2 harvests off of this. We'll get this picked and then we'll get it over to our production. But first, let's go run down and we'll grab the pig food with our new flatbed trailer we bought. And like I said, we'll just stack them right in this first bay. We can easily use the skid steer, do 2, maybe 4 at once, depending on how tippy it gets. We know we can load 4 at once. It'll be easy to load on this trailer at the shop. They did have this trailer in base game on 22, but it actually is a mod on, and it's not by Giants either, so another user brought it over. Kind of a weird looking trailer, but it's very handy because it does drop down nicely. While we're here, let's check the sales. Like, nothing of use. Although I don't think we really have anything we're kind of waiting for anymore now that we don't really have to mulch. Let's go to... Too bad there wasn't like food sales for livestock or cheaper time to purchase those. I know there is a mod we could probably do if we really wanted to do that, but I want to stick with base game more or less. Okay, we might as well get as many as we can get, right? 8,000 at 1,000 a piece. 8. See how that goes. Be better to do it this way. Put it down. Go. And then we should be able to do 4 at once with this forklift. It's got such a nice, well, it's nice and sturdy. It ain't going nowhere. The forks could probably be just a tad bit longer, but I think we can make it work. We can see where we're at here. There we go. Maybe. There we go. I was hoping we could do 4. There we go. Look at that. Makes it nice and easy. And now they won't dump on us because this trailer is a flatbed. Unlike our other one that we had issues with. Should, could almost get another layer in here, but I think we'll just stick to 4. And actually, we'll probably just dump these in the feed trigger right away. And then we can come back and grab probably a few more. Guess we're too far to the left here. There we go. Yeah, let's do that. Let's run down, deliver these, and then come back and do it again. Well, unfortunately, we couldn't do 4 at a time. It's just too heavy for the skid steer. But nonetheless, we can do 2. This seems to be working pretty well. It would be nice to completely fill this area up, but we'll just go with this for now. We need to do some math when we sell these first lot of pigs and see if it's even worth doing it this way, because I think we're actually probably losing out. I can't imagine we're going to get paid that much. Probably fed him what, twice, so 16,000. So maybe anything over 16,000 is a profit. I didn't keep that close attention, but we probably paid him, fed him twice or maybe 3 times now. And then I'm gonna go 1 month, like I said, over 24. We'll see what that is when it flicks over. Probably sell them on the next episode because we do got to get to that spinach and get that going. Get that over to our production factory, and I think it was just bagged spinach that we're gonna make in the preserve factory there. Should be nice. Hopefully we make some decent money on that. We get, like I said, out of debt. It would be nice to purchase maybe another field. Maybe we should look at some smaller fields. Maybe so we should make our own, like I said, our barley or wheat for the chickens so we don't have to buy them anymore. We do have that silo we haven't used yet. And maybe even think about selling it if we're not going to use it, I suppose. It'd be like really weird to have all that space there though. But then again, like I said, we haven't used it. And it's kind of just taken up an area. We'll get our trailer configured. We need our wagon again. I suppose we could use that area just to park some wagons outside. That wouldn't be bad. We could put a smaller silo in, maybe. It was definitely overkill. But I'm not ready to make that decision yet. Maybe we will buy a big combine and do a big field and go that direction. Depending on how far we want to go. Make sure to shut it off this time. Because we are starting to lose out on our gas. We got to get a gas tank put up. Okay, peas, green beans. Here's our spinach. This harvester wasn't too bad. I think the worst one out of all of them is the peas one. I wasn't real happy about the way that's pipe out looks. It's hard to get over the trailer, but we are gonna have to do it again for our upper field, I guess. Let's see, yeah, we were unfolded already. Get this set up to take advantage. Yeah, if we stay to that right side again, it works out better than after we get the 5 headlands done. Off we go. Second time doing this. It will be our first time doing the preserve factory, and that is, I believe it was bagged spinach. Spinach bag is called. And that is 100 spinach to 45 bags. Hopefully it's quite profitable. Okay, let's get this tackled and get it over to the preserve factory. Before we get this last run here, I just want to double check our yield. This is 100 and 100, right? Yeah, 100 and 100. And again, we didn't mulch that, but we're getting a mulching state after we harvest. Although this is going to still say growing, I think. Or is it going to say harvested? That'll say harvested here. But it should grow back once more. It'd be awesome. We're getting 2 for the price of 1. We'll see how many pallets we can get of our bagged spinach. We'll have to come back for another partial load. We ain't gonna get it all on, unfortunately. We might as well just deliver it now, I suppose, and not worry about filling it up. Yeah, I think if we do it right in here, it'd be decent. Let's deliver this over to our preserve factory. We'll see when it's going to end up getting, well, when we're supposed to deliver it. The bagged spinach. We'll have to see what's going to be more profitable. We already know the peas are a lot more profitable than the green beans, but we're not sure yet on the... I suppose it's right here. We could just top up as we're going through. There we go. Not much. Better turn our beacons on. Yeah, I really gotta say though, this factory looks really good over here. Almost like it belongs. It's such a good job landscaping the area. Go dump that. We'll run over and grab the other load quick, and then we'll see when that's going to deliver. Like I said, for the top price. Here we go. I suppose we should start the production. Get a little bit going. Spinach bag. Activated. Yeah, maybe considering, like, if we decide the green beans are not worth it, or one of the other crops, we could sell that harvester, and then we could invest in a regular harvester, so we could do some of those other... Well, we'd have to have enough money to buy a field yet, too. That's the tricky part, because the fields are expensive, too. Depending on which one we get, but if we're going to want, like, a good yield... We're going to want, like, the big one across the street, and that's going to be quite expensive. Alright. Last of it, here we go. Okay, so we have 59 liters processed so far, so when will that deliver? Spinach bag. Garden center in March. So they're all March. All 3 of these crops were March. That's easy to remember. That's pretty good. Okay, so I think we're going to leave it there for today's episode. On the next episode, we will get our pigs sold. That should be quite exciting to see what profitability that's going to be. Maybe it's not going to be that profitable. Like I said, we probably fed them, what, like 3 times or something like that? Which would be like 24,000. And then eventually we'll also get that manure heap put in. We got to get going on that because it's going to take a while to produce that, and I do want to make sure we get some use out of that. So we should probably maybe just count on doing that after our sales, depending on kind of where we end up. But we will, if we have to take a little bit of a loan out, so be it. So we'll leave it there for today's episode, and we will see you guys on the next one.